The thing that you want to think about when you're stretching your hip flexor is to extend the hip as much as possible. To do that, or two ways that you can do it, is by extending the hip, drawing the leg back, and extending the hip by posteriorly tipping the pelvis, so drawing the pubic bone forward and the ASIS in towards the body. So the top rim of the pelvis tips back. So that will create the most length in your hip flexor. What we tend to do is when we come into a lunge, we try to shoot our knee as far back as possible, and then we're getting the extension in that one way, but we forget about the position of the pelvis and we tip it forward. So I'm just hanging out in my hip here, but I'm not getting the maximum stretch. In order to do that, you can modify your lunge by shortening the length of the lunge, and when you come up into the pose, really be conscious of what your pelvis is doing. So start to draw the tailbone forward, the pubic bone forward and up, and the ASIS into the body. So I'm posteriorly tipping my pelvis. And you see how that shortens my lunge quite a bit. And I'm already feeling a stretch here in my psoas. So if I want even more intensity, maintaining that tipping of the pelvis backward as I shift my weight forward in space, just to that point where I really feel a stretch, and breathe into it there. So when you come anytime into a lunge pose, be really conscious of what your pelvis is doing so that you can maximize the benefit of the stretch in the belly of your hip flexor muscle, your psoas muscle.